I think a lot of people look at the Essence list of the brands they owe a lot of money to and are also asking the question of how these brands get in this position where Essence owe them so much. Likes of Acne being owed $1.5 million, Jacquemus at nearly 4 mil, Margiela at 2.5. These are big, large sums of money. Then I'd also say that 86 grand to a brand like Sandy Liang is a big amount of money to not have in your back pocket. On the contrary, you can see for the likes of Balenciaga, they owe $1. Bottega equally, maybe $2. So how does this even happen? A lot of the big players in the fashion industry are on prepayment terms. So the likes of Kering Group and often other major luxury fashion houses either have a deposit scheme set up or 100% prepayment. Now, in today's day and age, this is unheard of in the fashion industry. Everybody wants to move away from this from a retailer standpoint, because why would you want to pay for something up front before you even get the product? Sometimes you could be waiting months to get it, to even get a read on how it's selling. But obviously, issues like brands being owed millions is why brands want to do this. From a brand standpoint, they do not want to have any risk induced by not being able to pay for their debts as well. Bearing in mind this money is being used to fund future collections or the current one being made too. I personally think that overall fashion landscape and the way payments are handled, specifically in retail, is flawed. I think if all brands move to a deposit setup where the retailers paid for some amount of the stock up front to cover costs, everything would work a lot better and healthier. Brands wouldn't have to worry about covering their own costs. And I also think retailers would end up in a far less scary position like that of Essence, because they'd actually be able to manage cash flow a lot better and not get sucked up by just putting hefty orders in and ended up with a lot of stock. In terms of Essence as a retailer, they will never be the same way after this. I personally think they've been using a dated buying model for many years now. You simply can't buy every New Balance release ever in heavy amounts, heavy quantities, and expect not to have a lot of stock lying around that you can't sell. But it just goes to show that there needs to be a massive reform in the fashion retail space.